You know, in all seriousness, all I can say is this. I don't know how much more it will take, how much more betrayal it will take for progressives like myself to finally realize that the Democratic Party has just screwed you in the ass once again. And excuse the language, but this is precisely what's happening. So I'm not exactly innocent in this regard because, you know, I believed their rhetoric for a long time, but I'm finished with listening to the rhetoric. So I would urge progressives to take a completely different tack and tactic regarding all these problems. And basically, what I would advise you is to leave the Democratic Party behind. Don't keep rewarding them for stuff that they are doing or not doing, which you are not in support of, or which you're against. Basically, we're all being used as tools, just as many Republicans are being used as tools by their respective party. So let me start out by reading a few paragraphs from Bruce Dixon, and I'll post a link to this article in the sidebar. Democrats could accomplish nothing during the Bush years, they told us, for the first 6 years because they were a minority, and during the last 2 because Republicans could filibuster. Now, with both houses of Congress, a filibuster-proof Senate majority, and a transformative leader in the White House, Democrats can only continue the wars and the privatizations and the cover-ups and the kidnappings. In power, Obama and the Democrats can bail out Wall Street, but not homeowners. They cannot accomplish anything voters want, like universal health care. Some Democratic activists are sobering up, looking around and heading for the exits, as they well should. In Obama land, the president never keeps the truth from us except to deprive the nation's enemies of more bad things to say about us because he's so busy looking forward. Crimes are in the past. Hope is in the future. In Obama land, the president isn't to blame if the wars continue and the troops don't come home, and the government keeps kidnapping and torturing people to this very day. He didn't exactly say all that would stop right away, if at all, anyhow, did he? In Obama land, all this can be overlooked and forgiven, or at least put off until Democrats somehow obtain a bigger advantage than a mere crushing majority in the House and in the Senate, 60 votes in the Senate, by the way, and a new president. Insanity indeed. And in Obama land, even though the president told us to judge his first term on whether he delivers effective, affordable health care to millions of Americans, including the uninsured, it's not the president's fault if he appears to moonwalk away from health care bills to a health insurance bill, from single payer to a public option, and then of course to insurance co-ops, and to a plan that doesn't even cover the uninsured until 2013. We could go on for quite a while. So the very best our popular president with whopping majorities in both houses of Congress can do is not single payer. It's not universal health care, but health insurance reform, as the president calls it, which is really a bailout for private insurers, under which millions will be forced to purchase junk insurance with some government subsidies funded by Medicare and Medicaid cuts. The president is even now open to taxing employer-furnished insurance benefits, a position he ridiculed McCain for taking during his campaign. Drug prices will remain high thanks to the renegotiation with Big Pharma, where these prices can no longer be negotiated. Outside of Obama land, any president, possesses levers of vast executive power that can be utilized to bring a mere congressman or senator back onto the reservation. The White House routinely bears its fangs right now at junior members of Congress who hint or even hint at voting against the war budget, but never threatens to depose stubborn liars in the Senate or call to heel the blue dogs in the House, whose careers are literally the handiwork of the White House itself and his staff, Rahm Emanuel. I'm sorry, I've got a fire truck going by. In the morning, it's morning again in America, and this time it's a hungover morning. The left is only beginning to rouse itself from Obama-land's stupor and stumble into daylight. So my suggestion would be a completely different tack. Leave the party. How many broken promises? Let me tell you. First, there was the ending of the income tax for seniors earning less than $50,000 a year, now dropped. A $3,000 tax credit for companies adding jobs, now dropped. Penalty-free hardship withdrawals from retirement accounts, now dropped. Enforced pay-as-you-go, now dropped. Close Guantanamo, now tabled. Allow bankruptcy judges to modify homeowner loans, now dropped. Sign the Freedom of Choice Act, now dropped. Tougher rules against revolving door lobbyists and former officials, now dropped. FISA, habeas corpus, the prosecution of war criminals, blocking networks from seeing the White House visitors list, detainee photos, preventive detention, and the support of secrecy laws, all still on the books. And don't get your hopes up too high in terms of these Holder investigations now going on. This investigation is very reluctant. What's particularly sad is that most of these decisions were made by crumbling to, again, the will of the lobbyists and to corporate interests. And all of this in just 8 months of this presidency. Meanwhile, we're increasing our troop presence in Afghanistan, so more wars and more spending on wars. Unwinnable wars, you might say. McChrystal, who was the commander in Afghanistan, came out, including within the NATO report, essentially, not putting it in so many words, but essentially asking for more and more troops in Afghanistan. You know, the military people will always ask for more troops. Always, no matter what. So, we've already got 20,000 more additional troops in Afghanistan, and this number is going to increase in a completely unwinnable war and another quagmire. So yes, it may very well turn out to be Obama's Vietnam. But it's not just going to be Obama's Vietnam, it's going to be our Vietnam. Because without getting our military spending on further war making under control, this nation is not going to survive. Thanks for listening.